Hi, my name is Robert Chelle with Chelle Law, and I'm an attorney that assists dental associates with employment contract and independent contractor agreement issues. Today I'm going to talk about malpractice basics for a dental associate. If you are a dental associate and you're looking for a new job, having to deal with malpractice insurance is a new thing, generally not something you learn in dental school, or perhaps you've been out a while and you're switching into a new position where it's your responsibility, kind of go through the basics of it and what to look for. So first, there are generally two types of insurance utilized in the dental industry. You have either claims made or occurrence-based malpractice coverage, and I'll explain the difference between the two. So under a claims made policy, a policy has to be in effect when the claim is made. So it's possible when you leave the employer, your malpractice policy ends, but then somebody could sue you 2 years later. So you need a second policy, which is called tail insurance, that kind of covers the gap in between the last day that you provide care for an employer and then the last day somebody can sue you. As far as who is responsible to pay for tail insurance, this is probably the key thing that almost any dental associate needs to be aware of. It'll say it in the contract, your employment contract, who is responsible for tail. And if it doesn't say anything, then you need to make certain the language is added, which makes certain there's no ambiguity. If the dental associate is responsible to pay for their own tail, generally it has to be secured before their last date of employment. A good rule of thumb is about twice what your annual premium is. So that just means what it costs to insure you on an annual basis. Double that, and that'll be how much you have to pay for tail. Now, it is a one-time payment. It's not like you have to pay it every year. For a dentist, I'd say on average, your malpractice insurance will probably be around $3,000 a year. After you've been out a few years, the first couple of years, generally dentists have extremely low premiums for malpractice insurance. So let's say you've been out 4 or 5 years, your premium is $3,000, just double that. So you'd have to pay $6,000 if you were responsible for tail. Who pays for it? That's something you can negotiate. Depends upon the employer. It's not a prohibitively expensive amount of money, but certainly something you don't want to have to pay for. So can be something you negotiate. So that's claims made coverage with tail. Occurrence means a policy has to be in effect when the incident occurs, and therefore tail insurance is unnecessary. The biggest difference between claims made and occurrence, generally occurrence is about a third more expensive per year. So for the most part, occurrence makes the most sense for a dentist, especially for a new dental associate where maybe you're working in a bunch of different positions as a independent contractor, and you're the one that's responsible to provide your own insurance. It doesn't make sense to have to pay a bunch of different tail policies. Generally, if you have one malpractice insurer and it's an occurrence-based policy, they can just add the different places that you're working at onto the policy, and that way you don't have to worry about paying for tail. So those are the two general types of malpractice insurance utilized in the dental industry. So let me talk about if you're working as an independent contractor. Most of the time, if you are a 1099 working as an independent contractor, you are going to be responsible to, one, pay for your own annual premium, and then two, obviously pay for the tail insurance as well if it's claims made policy. That's fairly standard. So whoever you're working for isn't trying to get one over on you if you're an independent contractor and you have to pay for your own malpractice insurance. That's kind of an industry standard way of doing things. Now, if you are an employee of a practice and they are making you pay for your own annual premium and tail insurance if necessary, they're probably just cheaping out. That's generally something an employer would pay for. Now, if you're working for a DSO, you'll generally never have to pay for your own annual premium. But if you're working for a dentist-owned practice, it just depends. I mean, I find for whatever reason in the dental industry, dental associates really kind of get screwed is probably the best way of saying it, out of benefits that most other industries don't have to worry about. So you may not be getting health, vision, dental, life, disability. They may not pay for your license and DEA, your continuing education, and then your malpractice as well. Just something to look for. Those are the two main types of insurance that a dental associate needs to be aware of. And I broke down the differences between claims made and occurrence. So if you have any questions about your employment contract or independent contractor agreement, feel free to contact me. I have all the contact info listed below in the description, and I hope you liked the video. Thanks. Take care.